Right, hello everybody, how is it going? I hope that you are all doing well, and welcome back to another video. And in today's video we are going to be looking at this Hornby Railroad Flying Scotsman. Now, like all my recent reviews, I have looked at this before. It was the beginning half of 2019, and as my old reviews have always been, they aren't very good. So I've come back to look at it again and hopefully do it in a bit more detail and make a better and more enjoyable review and video for you guys to watch. So if we turn the box on its side, the code you will need if you would like to purchase this specific model is 3086, R3086 even, Flying Scotsman LNER Class A1, and this example is before it was made into an A3. Now, on Hornby's website, it's priced at £110.99 RRP, but if you shop around, you can get it for £94 on Hatton's and other retailers, or you could try eBay as well. We bought this brand new from a model shop. I can't exactly remember which model shop, and I can't exactly remember how much we paid for it, but we've had it for a few years now, and it's a very good model. £110.99. That's roughly the sort of price, maybe a bit lower, you would expect for a railroad tender engine like Flying Scotsman, and I think personally that is a perfect price. The detail is moderately decent. Obviously, being a railroad model, it's not up there with the mega detailed models, and also it's a very good runner, and it's got a very good mechanism, as you will see in a moment. So we're going to take her out of the box and take a closer look at her. So just take that off and that off and just pop it on the floor, and behind, oh sorry, just off the camera, behind should be the instructions. Hold on, there they are, there's the instructions. Just pop the model back there and we'll have a look at the instructions. So here you can see it obviously says Railroad Class A3 460. Actually, this is what confused me. This says A3, the box clearly said A1. So I'm guessing the chassis, obviously the chassis is the same for the A3 then, and I'm fairly sure that the chassis is the same for the Hornby Railroad Tornado, but I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that, but I think it is. So this says A3 instead, but obviously the instructions just have general and routine maintenance, DC ready, running hits, all that good stuff. And on the inside we have lubrication. Hold on, let me just do that. Lubrication, accessories, close coupling, body removal, and DC fitting. And you get a lovely picture of the motor, and I really am happy to see there is a lovely big chunky flywheel, and I'm fairly sure that is a 5-pole motor, but I'll have a look later on and see if it is, but I'm not 100% sure. But I'm happy to see a nice flywheel, and on the back it's just information on fitting the brake rods and all that good stuff. When we turn the box around, we will find a detail pack in this bottom corner. We just take that out. In fact, it's sellotaped. But if I just bring the model closer, you can see there is the brake rigging in there. We do have a spare coupling, as from what I can see, and I think there's something else in there, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So just turning the model down, we'll take the tender out first using the hole in the back of the packaging. This is one thing about these models, I'm not a big fan of the packaging, this polystyrene. All Hornby models used to be like that. Hello. Okay, I'll just pop that there where it won't move. All Hornby packaging used to be like this, but now they obviously use the ice block packaging, as we call it, for their detailed models. Now, I don't know if they still use the polystyrene for their railroad engines, but I'm not a huge fan of it. I do prefer the what is called the ice block packaging. Anyway, so there you can see her in all her glory, and obviously, as I said, she isn't the most detailed model, but it's still fairly nice. So we'll have a look at her in some better close-up detail. So I've taken the tender away just for conveniency. Anyway, so as usual, we're going to start from the front of the loco. So at the top of the smoke box door, we do have a separately fitted handrail. We do have the smoke box dart, but I think that's part of the moulding. It could be separately fitted, but I'm not 100% sure. Moving down, we do have some riveting around here. We don't have any lamp brackets, however, and when it comes to the buffer, we don't have any riveting, but we do have a nice printed number, and we have plastic wheels which aren't sprung. Moving on to the side of the loco, we do have a lovely separately fitted handrail that runs all the way down the whole of the loco. We obviously have the separately fitted etched nameplate saying obviously Flying Scotsman. We have the metal rods here, and down here the wheels. I'm not sure if all of the wheels pick up, I'll find that out. But continuing on here, we have the safety valves on the top of, or near the cab. On the cab roof we do have the sort of hatches. Now, do these open? I'm not sure if they do. No, I think they're permanently in that position. I can't seem to get them to move, so I think they're permanently in that position. Anyway, we've got this sort of panel thing here, which has got riveting around it, which is quite nice. We do have some more rivets around here. Another handrail, except this is moulded to the body shell. And then, I'm not 100% sure what these are, but they're there. Now, the body shell is plastic, and the running plate's plastic, I think. But the inside there is some metal. And one thing I forgot to mention is the dome. Now, you can tell this is an A1 because the A1 dome is round, whereas the A3 dome is that shape, but it has a long bit that stretches out like that. I'll put a picture up on screen so you can see what I'm on about. But obviously we have the number 4472, and because this is a railroad model, it's not in the sort of LNER lettering like the main models are. And down here we have the cab wheel with some fairly decent detail as well down here. Moving on into the cab, as expected, it isn't painted, which most railroad models aren't, but there is a fairly alright decent amount of moulded detail in there, which is better than nothing. We have plenty of rivets around here, and obviously that is what joins the coupling to the tender. And obviously same on this side, we do have the same detail. One thing I didn't point out though is the lining on this is beautiful. No mistakes that I can see of. We obviously have this part which wasn't on the other side, I don't think. Nope, it wasn't. So we also have this, what I presume is some sort of tube or pipe. And obviously down here, and I didn't point out the sort of gold lining on those bits. And there's also some other moulded handrails on the cab as well. Hold on. Is that there we go. Wasn't sure if that was focused, but it wasn't. Anyway, so we'll move that to one side, and we will move on to the tender. Starting from the front of the tender, we obviously have the coal load coming out of the bottom area. We have some cupboards, and this is the door which would take drivers to the second tender. Obviously this doesn't have the second tender, but Flying Scotsman famously had a second tender, which for long journeys was used for crew. At least that's what I'm pretty sure it is. So it would have a second tender on the back where the crew would sit, and then at certain points the crew would swap over, and they would go through this door, and there was a corridor that went all along here, and they'd come out and come into the other tender where there was sort of waiting room style thing. On the top we have the coal load, which, to be honest, for a railroad model that's an alright coal load. We also have the hatch where the water goes in. Moving on to the back, we have the door here with the rubber connector, which is plastic obviously. Non-sprung plastic buffers again. The buffer beam as well. We do have slimline couplings, which is a very, very nice quality. On the bottom, we do have all metal wheels, which is very nice. This doesn't have tender pickups because it obviously isn't connected permanently to the model, which isn't the best, but because it's not perfect for reliability. Engines tend to run better when they've got tender pickups, but it is a railroad model, and you don't expect the details that you get with the high-priced models from Hornby. Obviously, we have the lovely lining all around the tender, and obviously the LNER, again not in the normal LNER lettering. And the area down here, there's plenty of rivets along this whole area with the wheels as well. And obviously underneath would be where the brake rigging is fixed, or would it be fixed under here? I think it's fixed underneath the engine, so ignore that point. The brake rigging is fixed on the engine. So we're going to take the body off and we're going to have a look at her mechanism. So here we are with the body off, and the picture deceived me. We do only have a 3-pole motor, which isn't as good as a 5-pole motor. Though it does have a flying wheel, which is better than nothing. So it's a bit of a shame that it's got a 3-pole motor, not a 5-pole motor. But it's surprisingly a decent runner. Normally 3-pole motor trains aren't the best runners. It's actually an alright runner. Obviously, you can see we do have the decoder. This is a Bachmann 8-pin decoder that is in this train as well. And the weight to this train comes from the chassis. This whole chassis block here is made of metal, apart from obviously this area here. All of this and all where the wheels are attached is all made of metal, which is where the weight comes from, which is quite nice. And there's not much else to see, obviously, apart from you got the DCC socket there. So I'm going to put the body back on, and actually I'll show you how to do the body. You probably saw from the time lapse, but I'll show you anyway. To do the body, you got a screw there, which you put the wheels in like so. You then place that over and you put the screw in. But you can also undo the body without taking that screw out, but I prefer to take that screw out. You can undo, it says in the instructions to undo that screw that you can just see in there, which loosens this and makes it easier to get to the screw which goes here. But I can get to the screw anyway. But the screw is that one, and you can take it off without undoing this screw, but I prefer to undo this screw anyway, because I feel like you need to, but even though the instructions don't say it. So we're going to take her down to the railway and have a look at how she runs and show you how, surprisingly, she is a decent runner even with a 3-pole motor. It might be the flywheel that helps, but we'll go down and take a look at her. Right, so here we are down at the railway, and as always we're going to do the first test, which is slow speed and how she manoeuvres points. So I'm going to edge the controller up very slightly. That's backwards, Cameron. Try again, very slightly forwards, and that is as slow as I can get her to go, which honestly for a 3-pole motor that is pretty fantastic. Now she did cut out on the points a moment ago, which I didn't catch on camera, but will she stop again? We're just waiting, and it was about now when she stopped. Yep, and she has stopped. So I'm not sure how many pickups she has. I want to say all the driving wheels have pickups on them, but I don't think they do. Oh, and she's cut out again. Right, I'll speed her up now. And she is a fairly smooth runner. But there is one thing I don't like about this. I'll just move the camera. There. And this coupling is too low, because if you try and move it backwards, if I just you'll see it likes the bottom bit likes to catch, and it's so annoying when you try to go reverse and it catches. They make the coupling too low, so I'll just push it backwards over that point, and hopefully now she will go backwards. We'll give it a try. If she will go backwards, she just caught it again, and it is a real problem. When she's coupled up and going forwards, it's perfectly fine. But it is so annoying. So we'll just switch the points and see how she manoeuvres over them. Set her to go at a bit of speed. That's backwards still. At a bit of speed, not too much speed. Just want to roughly see how she. Oh, and she caught her gate on the crossing. That's not the best. And then we'll see if she will go backwards. But I'm expecting her to stop. Yeah. what a surprise, it stopped because the coupling is too low. Then we'll go back again. I'm expecting her to stop again. No, she hasn't. Okay, right. Well, switch the points. No, stop, going backwards. Switch the points and get her coupled up with her coaches. So here she comes around the corner, and obviously the coaches. Oh, she stopped again. That's not good. The coaches I'm going to be hooking her up with, and she stopped again. Okay, this isn't very good then. The coaches I'm hooking up with her are obviously some lovely LNER teaks, which I can't get in the best of light. Pardon, I'll just go and get the torch so you can see them in better light. That's better, you can see them better now. So obviously we're hooking up with some lovely teaks. So we'll just tuck the torch down and we'll try and get her to move again. Nope, stops again. Right, and again, right, I'm going to move up the speed because this is getting a bit ridiculous now. Right, so she has hooked up straight away, but as you can see, if I try and get in there, you can see that the coupling from, hold on, if I try and get it to focus, you can see that the coupling from the tender is raised up, which isn't good at all because it means it has to raise upwards to get it. And you can see, if I go even lower down, that the coupling from the coach actually goes over. Sorry, it's a bit blurry, my iPad can't focus on it, but so that is a bit of a problem. And another problem is she does keep stalling at slower speeds, which is a pretty big problem. It shows that I don't know which wheels have pickups. I'd have thought all the driving wheels would have pickups, but maybe not. I'm not 100% sure. If you know, leave a comment down below if all the wheels have pickups, but judging by the amount of times it keeps stopping and starting, I'm not sure, so that's marked down on its performance. Maybe different if you have your own. It might just be mine has a few problems, but we'll get her moving off. As you can see, at the faster speed, she's a very good runner. And she doesn't. Oh, she did slow down on those points there, though. Oh, and it's still blurry. There we go. She did noticeably slow down on those points, which I think maybe it is either an issue to do with the pickups or it might be an issue to do with the motor. But as you can see, there are coaches on the inside track over there, and that is because we are going to be running with her the Hornby Railroad Tornado, which you probably would think, well, if you're going to run a train with Flying Scotsman, hold on, wait for Flying Scotsman to get out of the way. Well, oh, and Flying Scotsman again slowed down there. So if you're going to run a train with Flying Scotsman, you'd run mad, wouldn't you? Well, the reason I'm running Tornado with Flying Scotsman, hold on, just wait for Flying Scotsman to come past again. Anyway, the reason I'm running her with Flying Scotsman is because they share the same class, A1, even though they are completely different engines. And also, I'm fairly 100% sure that the A1 Peppercorn Tornado in the railroad range has the exact same chassis as the Flying Scotsman. Now, there may be a few changes, but I'm fairly sure by taking a look at them, it is the exact same chassis. It has the same 3-pole motor inside, and just by looking at it, the chassis is exactly the same. So that's why I decided to run with it, because the classification is the same and the chassis is the same. So we're going to get her moving. And I don't know why, but Tornado is a much smoother runner. I don't get why. It's the exact same chassis and the exact same runner, but Tornado doesn't seem to cut out on points as much as Flying Scotsman, and it seems to be smoother. So we'll keep it at, that's about half speed. That is exactly half speed. We'll get Flying Scotsman up to half speed, because in fact I might actually do it a bit faster so she doesn't stop slowing down on the points. But we're gonna do the alternative angles as we always do with some music, so I hope you enjoy them. going to do is I'm going to stop Tornado now, and then I'm going to get Flying Scotsman up to full speed. And basically the reason I'm doing this is because when Tornado is running, she and Flying Scotsman share the power that comes out of the rails, which means Flying Scotsman doesn't get all the powers if she's running on her own. So this is her at top speed when she is running on her own. If I had Tornado running, Flying Scotsman would be slightly slower. I'm not sure how much slower, but anyway, I'm just going to slow her down a bit. Let's admit, from half speed being this and full speed being what you just saw, that's quite a big difference. But anyway, here are my ratings for the Hornby Railroad Flying Scotsman. So for detail, I'm going to give it 3 stars. Because it's a railroad model, it's not meant to have top class detail up there with the main range super detailed models. It's got a fair amount of detail, which is why I'm giving it 3 stars. It's good for beginners. Performance, this is where it goes down a bit, because even though it's smoother at higher speeds, at the slow speeds it kept stopping and starting. Now I don't know if that's because all the driving wheels don't have pickups. I'd have thought they all have, but what they could do with Hornby Railroad models is maybe add tender pickups in the future. The mechanism, again 3 stars. It is a 3-pole motor. Yes, it has the flywheel, and it's a pretty nice chunky flywheel, but still it could be better, and if tender pickups were there it would be even better. And value for cost, I'm giving it 4 stars. Now I'm really positive about things that will get younger kids, even younger than me, into the hobby of model trains instead of staring at computers all day long. Now I marked it down 1 star mainly because of the issues and criticisms I've given it, but I also think £110.99 is a bit too much for this specific model. This earlier I thought it was good, but when I look into it more I find out there's a few faults with it. I'd say maybe below 100, maybe about £95 at the most I think would be a good cost for this. So overall the total score is 13 out of 20, which isn't awful for a model, but anyway, let's get on and conclude the video. So I do hope you enjoyed that video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe and turn on notifications, and comment down below what you would rate this engine. Do you think my ratings were good? Do you think they should have been harsher? Do you think they were too harsh? I'd love to know your feedback and what you would rate this engine. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Take care everybody. Bye.